lovely sunset. It's so lovely. Look at all that trees and look what Daddy's done. There's the greenhouse like you might have seen. Even look at this beautiful patio.
Hi. So after all that work this weekend, I thought I would come out and show you around and explain a little bit about why we're doing what we're doing, and give you a little garden tour at the same time. So as you've seen, we've taken down the trellis that was surrounding the lawn. What you didn't see, you see the arches on the grass. They actually stood there and there, and they were really useful, really great. The arches and the trellis were there to give me growing space before we got the allotment. The same as these planters that Mark built last year. How many did he build? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He built 10 out of pallet collars, and they were really great last year. We grew loads of stuff in them. But as you can see, they're quite big and very heavy, and the bottoms are falling out of some of them, so they're sort of supported by bricks. So I don't actually think, and that one there actually I can see from, I don't know if you can see at the back, it looks like it's dropping further. Anyway, so I don't know how much use we're going to get out of them this year, but we're going to try and use them this year, and then maybe that might be the last time we do. But we'd literally just finished these and we got the allotment, so yeah. These two are okay because they're much smaller and they've got my roses growing in them, so hopefully we'll be able to keep those for a few years at least. So yes, so the plan is to continue to dig up the turf and re-turf it, because the grass is really patchy and really weedy, and no matter what we do, we just can't fix it. Now, I don't like to use pesticides, fungicides, weed killers, anything like that, so all we've been doing is trying to feed the soil, but the soil underneath, feed the grass, but the soil is very stony, so we're going to dig out the roots of these weeds, try and clean it as best as possible, and relay turf, and hope that takes. I would have preferred to have done this in autumn, but we're not in autumn now, and I don't want to wait. I can't wait now. So we'll do it as soon as we can, when we know we're not going to have some frost, and yeah, so that should be good. But I am absolutely loving the greenhouse being in this corner now. It works so much better. It'll be better for the kids to have more space. This is the inside of the greenhouse at the moment. I've got some roses to take to the allotment, plant up. These are, here I'll show you some. A collection of hardy geraniums I got, that I've bare roots that I've planted. Some look like they've been a bit unburied. I've got some salvia armisteads, hopefully overwintering. Some cuttings my dad took of a mystery salvia. It looks a bit like Natwinder, which I do have as well. More hardy geraniums, some lupins, some Verbena bonariensis seedlings I dug up. So yeah, it does stink of cat pee in here actually, so I've got a feeling might have had a visitor, unfortunately. And then here, these very dead looking things are actually not dead. They are salvias, Shasta daisies, some lobelia, and there's some aquilesias on the back there. These are just plug plants that I potted on and didn't get around to planting out, so they need doing now. So the borders are obviously not looking at their best at the moment, but I like to leave things, I don't necessarily cut things back. I like to leave them for the overwintering bugs. So yes, there's my silver birch. Top tip for you there. If you want a tree, but you can't afford to buy a nice specimen from your local garden centre, I went to find one and there was £75 at my local garden centre for a silver birch. This was a hedging whip, which with delivery cost me about £8. Would have been a lot cheaper if I could have found one at a nursery, but I couldn't. The top had been cut off, it had been topped, but as you can see, it's grown a new apex, so it's good. It was like one of these branches 18 months ago, and now it's doing quite well. Hopefully I'll get it silver soon. You can see it is actually. I don't know if you can see that. It is starting to become silver. It's one of my favourite trees, next to the big giant weeping willows, but I certainly don't have room for one of those. Then I've got these, there's Verbena bonariensis there. They're going to be everywhere because I absolutely love them. But these are Jasminium stephanies, which is a pink summer flowering jasmine that's quite a vigorous climber, and they were going to go up the arches and the trellis. I don't have them anymore, so I need to find space for them, which might end up on here somewhere, at least one of them. But I do have a climbing rose there at the back that's quite new. I got this from the Rose Press Garden, and that is summer wine. And then along this back fence here, I've got a rambling rose, a repeat flowering rambler from David Austin called Lady of the Lake, which was new to me last year. Needs a bit of a prune, because it's got a couple of crossing stems that need taking out there, I think. But I won't be pruning it other than that. It's its first year, and it's a rambler, so I believe, if I know my roses, not very well, I think I've missed my window on that one anyway, if I was planning to. And then I've got honeysuckle there that will hopefully grow along the back there. Hasn't done so well, but we are very exposed and windy here, so, you know, they don't always like things often grow just above the wall and the top parts die off. So yeah. So this area here, that's my potting bench that Mark lovingly made me a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago actually. That's going. It's really big, it's really heavy, and it's not very portable, and to be honest, I tend to use it more for storage than anything, so we're going to buy a cheap potting bench, one of those little portable ones, I think, and I'll put that in the greenhouse when I organise that myself. So a little planter there, that can stay, that's got some lavender in it at the moment and some thyme. Most of these herbs came from Urban Herbs and they've been really, really lovely. But I might take them out and put them somewhere where they've got a bit more room to grow this year. But the hanging basket kit was really, really nice. Yeah, I think that plant shelf's probably on its last legs this year as well. Let's say mock orange in there. So this is my tomato wall. This is where I grow hanging basket tomatoes, which other than last year are usually successful. Yeah, and that little antirrhinum there was the most successful plant in the garden last year. Didn't tell you much. So yes, so the next plan is to clear this and put that compost across. This is the compost that came out of the 2 raised beds that were at the back there that we had to move the greenhouse. All of the things that we've taken out of the garden, like the arches, those obelisks there, and the trellis, will go to the allotment to be used. The trellis, when Mark took it out, found that the fence posts that it was attached to had rotted anyway, so we would have ended up having to remove them soon anyway, so it was good that we did. So yes, so there you have it. That's our garden at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with part 2 hopefully very soon.